What's up, witches? Want to hear more from Gretchen's misadventures? I've collected all the bonus content for each episode right here, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Under new management. Gretchen stepped into the Salton Bog, admiring the clean floors as she pulled up a stool at the bar. Patrons sat chattering quietly at tables, and a gnome was tending the fire in the wide stone hearth. Jurgen's attention was fixed to the back wall where he was tapping nails into a poster, and Gretchen cleared her throat. "Nice establishment you have here. What happened to the Salton Bog?" Jurgen swung around with a nail hanging out his mouth, his fangs exposed in a rictus. As a troll, he didn't look like the friendliest barkeep, but Gretchen couldn't fault his operation. Very funny. He turned to tap in the last nail and stepped back with his fists planted on his hips. There, Gretchen craned her neck to see around his bulk and smothered a giggle. Jurgen's bar rules. 1. Break it, I'll break you. 2. The vomit bucket is not optional. 3. Skip out on your bill at your own risk. 4. All squabbles settled with the business end of a club. 5. This is not a hotel. Snooze and I'll toss you in the stable. 6. Scrape your boots before entering or you'll find them lodged somewhere unpleasant. Gretchen's mouth twisted in a wry smile. Most of the guys in here can't read? Jurgen snarled and dropped the hammer on the bar with a thump. The tavern went dead quiet, and Gretchen swiveled to enjoy the sight of a room full of brawlers and misfits stare at the bar with their eyes wide. If they can't read it, they'll learn to recite it. He reached under the bar and thumped a bottle of brandy in front of her. And don't you go thinking you're above the rules either. Gretchen gave him a mock salute and chuckled. Whatever you say, barkeep. Old Thomas would be proud of you. Beth slowed on the path ahead of Millie and turned to waggle her eyebrows. He's outside again. She shifted a bucket of water on her hip. Shirtless. Millie's heart skipped a beat, and she grinned, nodding at Beth to pick up the pace. In the small yard by the silversmith shop, a copper tub sat over a fire pit, the perfect place to spend the afternoon scrubbing sheets. She swung her own bucket to the ground and stole a glance at the man splitting logs with his back toward them. He is glorious. Nat scrubbed a handful of linen over the washboard. Let's hope the sun keeps up the good work. Nat's face dripped with sweat over the boiling tub, but she didn't seem to notice. The girls had volunteered to do the laundry and told their parents that the work would go quicker if they joined forces. Millie fancied the sheets had never been cleaner. Your turn for the next buckets. Millie smirked at Nat. You've had quite the eyeful already. Nat scoffed, but dropped the sheets into the soapy water. Upending the fresh buckets into the tub, she gave Beth a sharp nudge in the ribs. It's rude to stare, you know. It doesn't count if he can't see us watching. Beth fanned herself with a hand and fluttered her eyelids. And why do you suppose he keeps his back turned? The three girls turned to glare at Sarah. Millie huffed and turned her nose in the air. Just because you don't know handsome when you're looking right at it, doesn't mean you should spoil our fun. Sarah rolled her eyes and rubbed stained hands over her apron. She'd turned them down flat that morning when they'd stopped by with mounds of sheets. Insisted she would rather put up with the stench of the dye house than moon over the silversmith. A self-satisfied smile twitched at Sarah's lips, and Millie spun around to see what she found so entertaining. Gavin's assistant Terry had come out with a tankard of ale. As Gavin dropped his wood splitter, Terry ran a familiar hand over his glistening back, which came to rest on his rump. The three girls hissed as one. Gavin turned into Terry's embrace, pushing aside the tankard and grabbing his jaw. He flashed a smile at the girls before locking lips with his bow, and Millie's heart plummeted. But he can't be, Sarah snickered behind her. And why did you think he doesn't have a wife already, waiting around for the likes of you lot? Millie averted her eyes and gulped. I think those sheets are done. Sarah nodded toward the tub, unless, of course, you'd like to offer to wash theirs. Millie's lip curled and she looked to her friends in entreaty. Beth scooped the sodden linen into a basket and Nat overturned the water into the fire. Millie fetched the washboard and soap and groaned. It's always the good ones. An ode to love potions. Roses are red, violets are blue. You may love him, but he doesn't love you. Gretchen can help you. She's always around to brew up a potion that'll have him spellbound. It may not be sincere, but love you he will. The other girls will shriek outrage with voices so shrill. He'll be trussed up like a turkey, your own piece of meat. Don't quibble, it'll be worth it when your heart skips a beat. Like an animal, he'll throw you over his shoulder and take you to his cave to ravish you over. Then lead him you will, by the nose to the altar, where he will profess undying love without even a falter. From there a sweet honeymoon quickly ensues, and from the bonking a babe will come right on cue. A cautionary word though, if ever you tire of his farts and bad jokes in the years that transpire, you'll never be rid of him. He'll never give up. He'll follow you around like a newly weaned pup. So be careful what you wish, for if it comes true, you'll be bound forever, you'll get what is due. And finally, we have this bonus illustration by Rod Savely, which shows the food fight at the Salton Bog. I hope you enjoyed this bonus content from Troll Hunter, Witch for Hire. Remember to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to keep up to date with new content, audiobooks and more. Have a witchin' day!